name is Lou. Today, we are going to focus on the new Headway Plus intermediate book. We are on page 112 in your book. We are going to be learning about how to write a letter of application. Here we have many interesting words. We are going to use these words and phrases in this letter of application. Our first phrase is, I consider myself. Mr. Paul.
Yes?
What does I consider myself mean?
It's to do with how I feel about myself, about me personally, I think.
Yes, perfect. Mr. Gregory, what does as you will see mean?
I think they are saying that they are going to be, the person will be telling you more about themselves further on in the email.
Yes, that's true. Mr. Paul, what does I am writing in reply mean?
Oh, I think it's when somebody has sent me a letter or written to me, maybe in an email, and then I write back to them.
Yes. Mr. Gregory, what does I look forward to hearing mean?
I think that is a way of ending off your letter or your email, and it lets the person you are writing to know that you expect them to send you a reply.
Yes. Mr. Paul, what is experience?
Experience is to do with your life from when you're a baby until you die, and how you are affected maybe by what happens to you in your life, and everything that happens to you in your life.
Outstanding. Mr. Gregory, what does hardworking mean?
That would mean that the person makes a lot of effort in doing their job.
Perfect. People always tell me that I am a hardworking teacher. Now, Mr. Paul, what does advertisement mean?
Okay, so advertisement is when we try to sell something, possibly in the newspaper, like cola or a camera, and we put an advertisement into the local paper, or on TV. There are a lot of advertisements.
Yes, there are. That is correct. Mr. Gregory, if I say I'm going somewhere on business, what would I mean?
That would mean, for instance, if I traveled to the Maldives to go and teach English there, I would be there on business. I would be there to do my job.
That is correct. Mr. Paul, if I said widely, what would that mean?
I believe it means all around, everywhere, like for example the world. Maybe, for example, David Beckham and his wife are widely famous
Yes,
in
they
the
are.
world.
They are definitely widely known. Mr. Gregory, if I say fluently, what does that mean?
That would mean the way that a person speaks. That they speak without but their speech flows smoothly all the time.
That could be one definition. Mr. Paul,
Yes.
what is a CV?
A CV is a curriculum vitae, some people say curriculum vitae, and it's a list of your work experience and your qualifications and all the work and jobs and your education that you've completed over the years.
Outstanding. Mr. Gregory, what are deadlines?
A deadline is the time and date by which a certain task needs to be completed.
Very good. So, we all know the definitions for these words. That is outstanding. Now, we have an email here. It is to who, Mr. Gregory?
David Benton at worldwatcheurope.com.
Mr. Gregory, who was this email to?
That's to David Benton at worldwatcheurope.com.
Yes. Mr. Paul, do we have any attachments to this email?
I don't see any attachments. Let me see. Oh yes, there is an attachment there. It's his CV. And I know that because it says CV_NW. Which is a document which accompanies the original email.
Perfect. Now, Mr. Gregory, what is the subject title of this email?
It is Application Business Journalist, reference 009BT.
Aha. And Mr. Paul,
Yes.
do we have a salutation to this email?
Well, Mr. Benton.
Dear Mr. Benton, yes. Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes in this blank?
I would think that in that blank we would put in reply to.
Aha.
I'm writing in reply to.
Perfect. I'm ready to reply to your... Mr. Paul, what do you think goes here?
Advertisement.
Advertisement in today's Guardian for a journalist based in Geneva. Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes here?
As you will see,
As you will see from the attached, Mr. Paul, what do you think goes here?
CV.
CV. I studied journalism and modern languages at University College London and went on to do a master's in journalism at Queen Mary's College London. Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes in here?
I consider myself.
I consider myself the ideal candidate for the job because I have all the relevant, what do you think goes in this blank here?
Experience.
Experience. In my present job, I'm in charge of Eastern Europe publications for Intertech Publishing. Before this, I worked for the BBC World Service, at first covering Mexico and Argentina, then Europe. I have traveled... Mr. Paul, what do you think goes here?
Extensively. Widely.
Widely, sounds good to me. I have traveled widely in South America and Europe. In my present job, I frequently go to Japan. Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes in here?
On business.
On business, I speak French, German, and Spanish. Mr. Paul, what word do you think goes in that blank?
Fluency.
Fluently,
Yeah.
sounds good to me. I am enthusiastic and, Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes here?
Let's see the words. Enthusiastic and hardworking.
Hardworking, just like me, yes. I'm an enthusiastic and hardworking person. I'm good at organizing people and can meet Mr. Paul. What do you think goes here?
And can meet deadlines.
Deadlines, sounds good to me. And Mr. Gregory, what do you think goes here?
I look forward to hearing from you.
I look forward to hearing from you. And, Mr. Paul, do we have a closing for this evening?
Well, when it says sincerely Nigel Watson, that's how it's closed his letter.
Perfect.
With his email n.watson@hotmail.com and telephone number, as we say in British English, 07969690090.
Outstanding. So that concludes our example letter application. I would like you to spend the next 20 minutes writing up your own letter of application. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, the first question I'd like to ask teacher, what does it mean concludes?
Concludes, that would be the end, right?
Oh, I
I
see.
can say this is the concluding part of the email.
Okay, and you want us to put our email addresses on, or can we just make one up?
You can make one up. That'll be fun.
And must we write to the same company that he is writing to, teacher?
You can write to any company that you would like. It just needs to follow the format of a letter of application.
Okay. And his qualifications and his experience, must we use the same, or can we make up our own experience?
You can make up your own experience and qualifications, tailor this letter to yourself. What's important is that you begin with your greeting. You can use your email address or make another one up. You can go ahead and have a title for your email. You can have an opening like this. You can have a few paragraphs of body explaining why you would be the right person for a given job, or explaining further what you're asking in your letter of application. Excuse me. You can have a closing paragraph. You can have a very nice ending for the person to read, and then you can have your ending here with your, what is this called?
Ending.
Ending. No, there's a
Conclusion?
Conclusion, yeah.
Well, okay. Let me do that again.
So, teacher, we would do this the same way as if we were writing a paragraph. You would have an introduction, the body of the letter, and then a conclusion at the end. Is that correct?
Yes. So, when you write your own, you can include an email address, a title, your salutation, an introductory sentence, introducing yourself to the reader. You can have some paragraphs of body explaining why you would be the right candidate for whatever you're applying to. Then you can have your polite closing and your end with a sincerely or a yours faithfully, your name, your email address, and your phone number.
Teacher, I normally end my emails with regards. Do we have to use sincerely?
No. Sincerely, regards, yours faithfully, thank you very much. Any of those would be very polite conclusions.
Thank you, teacher.
Teacher, should we address it to this same person that we've been studying? Is it a letter to him?
You can address it to anyone you'd like.
And what about the new vocabulary? Should we use the new vocabulary which you've just taught us, or should we try and think of our own words?
If you would like to use these new phrases, then we as teachers would be very happy. You can, of course, use phrases that you already know as well.
Okay, and how long have we got to do this, did you say, teacher?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Can we type it on our computers, teacher, or must we write this on paper?
You can type it on a computer or on paper, whatever you would like.
Good. Thank you, teacher. I will begin.
Great.